So my name's Scott Swench, well, Scott Sawyers, aka Scott Swench, most people know me as that. And I'm a bodybuilder, YouTuber, entrepreneur, pretty much a bit of everything. And yeah, a part of Swench Official, which is our sort of collective, call it maybe, and same thing, you know, we're bodybuilders essentially, fitness background, but branched out into the whole social media world, really just making content with a fitness background, into bodybuilding, bit of business, bit of everything, just documenting our life really, and I'm here now. I think the off season when I was in the studio posing, yeah. So yeah, that was out of my comfort zone, like you said, you know, especially with the fitness side of things, it's their best images and whatnot, which is great. But I think especially now, it's like we can look at there's thousands, millions of unreal physiques to look at, but that it's not something that's motivating anymore. And what I've found with my journey is people really tune into my genuineness and just me showing my story, even from not even bodybuilding, from where I've come from my jobs I may have had, from life experiences I may have had. I documented all of that through my YouTube and my vlog, and that's what's sort of got me that connection with, you know, the people that support me and whatnot. So the same goes for bodybuilding. I thought, you know what, I'm naturally a fat kid. I got into fitness just because I was a chubby kid, I was insecure, all those type of things. And there's probably a million more people that can relate to that than there is to me sitting here now shredded out my mind for a bodybuilding show. So yeah, so I was 16 weeks out, or I don't know, just come off a year off season, so I was big. I was about just over 18 stone. Holding it well, I thought, but yeah, it was like the peak of my off season, and I just said to the lads, yeah, I'm going to go to the studio, no fancy lighting, just camera straight on, and just to show this is where we're at. One, just to, like I said, show it's not all glitz and glamour, oiled up, shredded to the bone. You know, this is what we're working with, and in the sense of bodybuilding, I've worked for 12 months to put this size on. It might not look pretty, it might not look like the fine ring, but this is what you have to do essentially to get to British title, or to get to, you know, the final thing. So I just wanted to be super transparent with everything and show the whole journey, because I feel like people will get a lot more than that rather than me just posting some photos of me in shape. You know, we can see that, like, fitness is massive now, we can see that all day. What do you really get from that? But what can you see from me going from the peak of my off season to show day, and the emotions, the everything behind it, not just the physical side of things. So that was my sort of thought process there, and it went down well. I said a lot more people can relate to that. So yeah, I got a good response. It was out of my comfort zone, but that's what it was all about. Yeah. So for the qualifier, that was still the best version of me that there had been at this point. So in hindsight, I definitely could have been way better, but because it was the best I'd been at that point, I thought it was enough. So anyway, obviously I went into the show to win, and looking back at it now, you know, I got 4th place in the end. I think if I really want to break it down and analyze it, I think I could have pushed up to 3rd, but then that was the reason I didn't, was down to, I feel, my stage presence, my posing, certain things like that, so I didn't get put in a position to be compared. But the 4th place was warranted. I can see why I got 4th. Condition wise, some of the lads were, it was more they were really good in the areas that I was slacking. So my, you know, from the rear, glutes, hammies, always been a struggling point. Not struggling, they've just never been razor sharp. And 9 times out of 10, it's your glutes, and it's your glutes. When your glutes are in, you're in, and that's what I've always struggled with. So going into the qualifier, my glutes were in, my hammies were in, but just not sharp enough. But because that was new territory for me, I think that made me think I was going in, you know, with a winning physique. So anyway, yeah, I got 4th. I was disappointed in the placing, in the sense of, you know, I went to win, but not in regards to it being the wrong place or anything. I was 4th. Completely warranted. I wasn't good enough to be any higher than that guy. So I went and did the work. It was simple as that. The feedback I got was I need to be more conditioned from the back, like I said, hammies, glutes, more conditioned overall, just better condition, which is always the case most of the time. Better stage presence, some few tweaks to posing just to really showcase my physique better. And the whole sort of show day, away from the actual physique side of things, it was very overwhelming for me. I had a lot of support, which was unreal, but because I was so focused on prep, I hadn't thought about any external factors. So on the day, nerves got to me really bad. I didn't really get to take it all in. So when I was out on stage, I wasn't performing, I wasn't putting any energy out there, and that plays a part in it as well. Your stage presence is, you know, plays a factor in the judging and whatnot. So combination of all those, but that was the feedback I got. Literally, I don't know, I was disappointed maybe 10-20 minutes after the show, just on the initial result. But then it was just like, right, I was on the phone to my coach, whatever we need to do to get better, whatever we need to do for the finals, I'm on it, whatever it takes. I had 2 days off with my fiance. We went on a little trip, got back and got to work, and literally just grinded for 4 weeks, like took it to a level I've never personally been to before, and yeah man, it paid off in the end, paid off. But yeah, we just worked. So I break it down and I put it on my Instagram as well, and just even in the sense of not just bodybuilding, just in life, I got the feedback of where I went wrong or what I needed to improve, and I just did every single thing that was possible to improve that. That's as simple as that. And yeah, I did the work and it paid off. Yeah, Joe's plan was always that anyway. Joe's sort of his sort of idea of it was come in 80-85% for the qualifier, and then drop the hammer, as I say, and come in 100% for the finals, or as close to 100% as you can get. I'd be lying if I said that's what I was thinking. I was going in to win the qualifier. It's hard because obviously I'm not going in to not place, but in his head that's what it was. So he knew we could be better, and it was just a case of pushing to an extreme and seeing how much I could sort of take of it. And I was never going to quit, so I just pushed it all the way through to the finals. But he knew that his plan was always the British. His plan was always winning the British. It was just whether I could execute the plan.
So what was the plan?
The plan was just the plan was just savage dieting. The thing is, with my physique, it depends on different people's physique, but I have to diet hard. I don't get flat easily, do you know what I mean? So I can diet very low calories, I can go hard for a long period of time, and I don't lose muscle tissue, whether that be through genetics and just through, you know, the time I've been training. I don't lose muscle tissue, so essentially we just went super low calories, higher energy expenditure, and just grinded it out for 4 weeks. So I was doing for 3.5 weeks out, because I had the 2 days off, a little bit of time off right after the qualifier, I had like 2 days, and then we was back on just under 1,100 calories for basically those 3.5 weeks. Cardio, I was on 12k steps, about 20 to 30 minutes cardio, 1,100 calories, and that was all the way through to that was 3.5 weeks of that. So bear in mind, I'm 102, 103 kilos, lean, eating. It was like 1,140 calories or something like that. And that was no refeeds, no cheat meals, no high days, no diet breaks, not even no rest. That was just all the way through to the finals till we carved up on the Thursday. So yeah, it was savage. It was just hard dieting. Like there's no secret tricks about it or anything like that. It was hard dieting, training, keeping that training intensity high, or as high as we could, and just doing it day after day after day. And yeah, man, it was mentally and physically the hardest thing I've ever done by far. But I think to get that level of condition, unless you're like a seasoned pro and you've sort of just naturally got that condition over the years, or you know you've got a genetic freak, I don't think you can get that condition without having to suffer a little bit. And that's what I learned this time around. But yeah, so no secret to it. It was 3.5 weeks of 1,000 calories a day and grafting. That's it. So 2018 was an intermediate category. So obviously at the time it was still a big achievement for me. But I would say this one, it was a lot more just because the caliber of obviously competition, the level of the show was a lot higher. Even when I did the last PCA British, you know, the guys I'm competing against are serious guys, you know what I mean, that have been doing this for years and competing at a high level. So, and PCA has grown massively over the years as well, pretty much taken over the bodybuilding scene. So, and it could, because it's in Birmingham, it's my hometown, just that alone, that's why I was doing the Midlands show, like, it's my city, do you know what I mean? I want to win that show. So the fact the finals was there as well, yeah, just the level of competition, the following also that I've built up over the years as well. You know, it's not just me. I've got so many people following the journey as well that was so invested with this prep just because of how I documented it, and like I said, I'm really invested in my people that support me and vice versa. So it was a massive win for everyone. So that made it a lot more to me as well. And like I said, my fiance and my team, like everyone was so invested into this and doing everything to support me to get it. It was just, yeah, it was way bigger than that, the British title we won before in that sense. So in the sense of the actual title and everything surrounding it, it was just yeah, a massive achievement for me personally. Yeah, I think especially in this sport, it's something you have to just learn to take on board, because it's a subject, we all know it's a subjective sport, so essentially it doesn't matter what you do, it's down to the opinions of the judges in front of you. Now there's a certain element of that is just judging based. There's a certain element of it that is, you know, with the point system, whatever, you either place here or you don't. But equally, if we're on stage together, our conditions matches each other, our symmetry, everything matches each other, then it comes down to just what the judges prefer, what they like. And you know, we could have a Lamborghini and Ferrari there. If I prefer one or the other, they're still unreal cars. You know what I mean? There's no knock on either of them. So long story short, I'd say, you know, you compete, most people compete to win. You're going to have that little bit of disappointment, but as long as you've improved from that last show, as long as you've learned something from your prep, as long as you've progressed and improved as a bodybuilder, as a person, as long as you've gained something, I personally think that's what you have to focus on and take that as a win. So you're gonna feel down after losing, if you know, after not placing where you want, etc. But once that all clears and you can look back and one thing, right, you've done everything in prep. This is if you've done everything you're supposed to do, and you've improved, you were better than your last show. Maybe you've learned stuff through your prep or something that's been progressive. I think I would advise anyone to focus on that, because that's all we can do in bodybuilding. There's always going to be someone that can pop up and just win. And I always say that about the shows. So I don't go into shows like, oh, I'm going to win it, because you can get any guy from Romania that turns up out of nowhere, that hasn't got Instagram, that hasn't got, and he's just the absolute beast, and it is what it is. So I think focus on the progression. If you're getting better, if you're improving, if you're progressing as a bodybuilder, and you know you've done better than last time, you've got to take that as your win, and then you go to the drawing board and you do it again. And as long as you keep doing that, you're gonna get the win down the line, because it's about improving. So that's how I sort of deal with it more than anything, and that's what I've done. I've placed 5th. I haven't placed in shows at all. I've placed 3rd. Do you know what I mean? I've won a British, and then the next show I've lost at the British, but I've improved each and every time. So I can say, you know what, I didn't get the result, but I did the work I needed to do. I've improved as a person, I've improved as a bodybuilder. We'll get it next time, and we got it next time. Yeah, that's my take on it. Yeah, it was unreal. It was almost like, it took me a while to really digest it all, because it was like, one of the big things from the qualifier to the finals, fact, I didn't take my time to enjoy the whole experience. So at the finals I did, and you know, enjoyed my time on stage, I enjoyed it backstage. So I was just happy that I was actually taking it all in. So the actual win hadn't really sunk in at that point. But then, yeah, after that, even now, like I've been buzzing all week. My fiance is probably sick of me going on about it, but she's just excited as well, because, like I said, we put so much work into it. Even before the qualifier happened, but especially after that, we worked so hard. Not just me, just everyone as a collective. So, and we was talking about it before. I said it in my YouTube video, like literally the few days before, that regardless of the result, because of how much we put into it, and I know I'm bringing my absolute best, which is in bodybuilding rare, there's always like something that you're never going to be 100%. I honestly think that was me at 100%. So whatever the result was, I was going in and thinking, oh, I'm going to be happy either way, because I've absolutely smashed it in for what I can do. But obviously the win would be the cherry on top, and then we won. And yeah, it was just, it was a massive, it felt like a massive achievement for everyone, because like I said, everyone was so invested, and people I don't know, people that aren't into bodybuilding, family, friends, my fiance's family and friends who don't know the ins and outs, everyone's been buzzing for me all week. So yeah, unreal. Just the feeling of it's unreal, and obviously it's what we set out to do, and it's been a 20-week prep, but I started my off season just under 2 years ago for this British. So yeah, massive feeling of achievement. Yeah, I'm happy, man. 5 guys. Legs. cravings. I don't know. I'm a fat boy at heart. I'm a little fat boy at heart. So yeah, the fighting off the cravings. I don't mind it, to be fair. I'm alright with it. Fake tan for 3 weeks after. Just pushing myself to the limit, seeing what your body can do, what you can do. That's what I've been, yeah, massively. Smile, keep my head straight. I've got a weird thing with posing where I'm always like this. Smile, keep my head straight, and enjoy it. You know what? Nothing. It's weird. I have such a mind blank. Even when I won at the British and I knew I'd won, I wasn't. I just had a mind blank. So nothing. I don't know. It's weird. My fiance. She's worked her ass off, man. So it was her win. It was her win straight away, and she was right there. So moving forward now, so I'm gonna wrap it up there. End the season on a high. Do my little rebound phase. So before we push into off season, just rebound, get my health up. Well, my health's good, but just focus on health, rebound, recovery from prep. And then yeah, off season, 12 to 18 month off season. I'm just gonna go for it again, and then eventually hit like pro qualifiers. Probably come back, try and defend the title again, or get it again, because it would be like probably another year gone by then. But yeah, just continue bodybuilding and improving. Like I said, off season, grow, get better. And then hit again. We've got loads of stuff outside of bodybuilding going on, so competing back to back every year is just not, it's not practical for me. So we've got businesses that we're starting between Swench and me and my fiance as well. So focusing on business, family, and then yeah, I'll be back 2023. Hit some pro qualifiers, international shows, and then we'll go from there. Shout outs just to everyone who supports me, and I say it all the time on my social media. Honestly, the support I get from people is crazy. So I have to make sure every single time, I see every single message, I can reply to every message, every comment, and it's a massive part of my motivation, knowing how I motivate others. So it works full circle. So everyone that follows and supports, my team back at Aesthetic Health and Fitness, everyone, Swench, like all the lads know, my fiance, family, the usual, everyone supports my journey, and he's just as much a part of it as I am. So it's a massive team effort. So you all know who you are. Love you all, and yeah, man, it's been a good one.
Also, give us a point double button.